is I go here to countdown, and the other thing I need to do is I need to reset the countdown. That's what I forgot to do. And we'll put this countdown goes to, it's going to be equal to 3. Alright, well, let's do this again. So I want to see, it's getting a little bit glitchy there. We're loose. It resets, and then we go there. So what I need to do now is, if we lost or win, I think I don't need this, and what I will do after reset, the last thing that we'll do is we'll set this back to countdown. But we've already done that. Well, let's see something. I might not do that. I may just get rid of those two and take care of it. Start. Come on. Yeah, that's it. That's all I need to do. Okay, overthought it. And it resets. Now, the last thing, well, not the last thing, we still have more to do, is what I want to do eventually is I want to build a little bit of a difficulty into the game. Granted, I'm not doing this all at once. So my first thing is I'm thinking of base functionality, getting everything working. Once I've got everything working, which that's my need, then I am taking the time, then I'm going to worry about difficulty. Now, one of the things we're going to do to create difficulty is, instead of having the enemy on screen when we start, we're going to spawn the enemy from an empty game object. So what I'm going to do is create an empty game object, and I'll name this spawner. And the first thing I'm going to do, well, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a script.
How do you create an empty game object?
Let me name this. And that spawn enemies. All you have to do is go to game object, create empty. And then it's like a group, but there's nothing in it. And what I'm going to do is drag this on top of here. We already talked about earlier about instantiation. So we're going to go to create a public game object, enemies, and then we're going to create a public void spawn enemies for game. And then what we're going to do, just to start off, is instantiate enemies, transform dot position, quaternion dot identity. And then we're just going to put this in start to start with. Now, it's important that my enemy is now a prefab, so let's do that. I'm going to drag this over here. I'm also going to drag my game controller, because that's important. I'm also going to drag in my spawner. And then eventually we can also drag in our bases, because we need to change this and change some other stuff once we get to it. But we can go ahead and grab a base and make that a prefab. And then what we're going to do is delete the enemy. I'm going to go ahead and say this as a version up. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to select my spawner, go to enemies, find my enemy, and then when I hit play, it's going to spawn it here. And let me make sure I have that in there. I do. And you see the enemy clone is here, and that's because my spawner's there, so let's fix that. So my spawner, I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to move it to, oops, where I wanted to go off screen. I was having this wrong thing selected. So we do this. Hit start, and it'll start. So that we have an enemy that we can spawn. Eventually what we're going to do is we're going to use this, or more importantly this, to increase the difficulty of the game. And as the score increases, then things are going to get faster. And then once we get to a certain score, then we're going to spawn another enemy. Yes?
So, where did the enemy movement code go? Since you deleted?
Well, that's script, and that's why I prefab the enemy, and that is a component on the enemy. So I prefabbed it because I needed to be a prefab to spawn it. I can't spawn it from if it's already in C. Now to kind of skeleton this part out, what we're going to do is this. Let's go to game controller. Increase difficulty, and what we're going to do is this. We're going to create a int score to increase difficulty, int score to spawn new enemy. And let's say here, to increase difficulty, we set it at 1,000, because our game, to win the game, is not going to be 1,000. We're going to make it longer. And let's say score to spawn new enemy, we'll make it at 5,000, and eventually our score to win the game will be somewhere like 10,000. I mean, yeah, 10,000 or more. Now we haven't done anything with this yet. All we're doing is skeleton it out, and then we're going to move forward from there. But just to give you a heads up, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up increasing the speed of the enemy, and let's go ahead and skeleton that out. Plus, and what we're going to do is create a public float speed increment, and we're going to make that very small, like this, because it's going to build up over time. And we can go ahead and get that in place just by adding that in there. And then once we come back from break, we'll go ahead and play with the difficulty. and then add some audio in here. Question?